Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We talk, you listen. Streaming to the world and beyond, we will talk about all aspects of life. We will host a variety of guests, where each week we will educate, motivate, encourage, and inspire you. Let's get started with your host, Mr. L.A.
Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey and filling in the gap. Yeah, you know what it is. It's a new week. It's your boy, Mr. L.A. So check this out. You know that's a new opportunity to get it right. Refreshing, new goals. Man, you know how that momentum goes. You know how we talk about it, man. Making sure we start the week off right with the right energy. Man, listen, I have, a guy here today that I want to, you guys probably don't know about him, but you will one day. And he's out here doing great things. I've known him for a little minute now. We used to go to the same church, man, and he was playing the drums coming up, and now he's a young man out here doing doing it right. So, man, I'm going to have him introduce himself. I know I say it every week, but it is true, man. I got a special guest with me today. I got Mr. Tyson Jackson. What's going on, man?
What's going on, big bro? What's happening?
Man, I can't complain at all, man. Just good to see you, man. So proud of you, man. So give us a little background on Tyson Jackson, on like what you're doing now, man. You got a whole business going out. You were talking to me, man. You're teaching what's going on. I still see sometimes the little kid behind the drums,
I know,
doing his thing. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So what's up,
man? So well, first of all, we talked a little bit. Good to see you. Good
to see you as well.
You know what I'm saying? But man, my name is Tyson Jackson. Born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida. 23 years old. My birthday actually is next month, March 14th. So there we go. 24, almost 25. That's actually crazy to think about. But started playing drums and getting involved in music at the age of 3. You know, watching my older cousin, who's a great drummer, Ray Nelson, play. Seeing
shout out to the bros.
Right? Exactly. So and I started, in church. Gospel music was definitely kind of my roots, my foundation, before I even started bridging the gap into jazz or doing, more of the top 40 or like the R&B. Like gospel was definitely my introduction and definitely shapes and informs the way that I play and interpret music. But beyond that, there's so much. I studied at UB Kenzie, Palmview Elementary School of the Arts, coming up in elementary school. Then after that, I went to Bach Middle School of the Arts in West Palm as well, which is middle school. And then I actually followed that same path and continued all the way up to Dreyfus School of the Arts for high school. Yeah. And then, so that manifested, and then the Lord showed up and showed out there. And then I went on to audition for, I kind of sum it all up. I went on to audition for Juilliard, where I got waitlisted. I think we talked about this, where I got waitlisted, and then later on actually ended up getting accepted. But then also the opportunity presented itself with Berklee, which is where I actually ultimately ended up studying. Which was crazy.
Good stuff.
Man, and it's crazy, bro, because I literally was just talking about this last night because I on another joint, and I was like, man, this was never even my dream. Like going to Berklee or going to Juilliard, like I would have never thought that those things would have even happened. Like I all I knew was playing drums, in church. I knew what I liked. I knew what interests me, and I knew that, just playing the drums and playing music was my passion. But as far as, these, how people say, oh, when they were younger, their parents, introduced them to this school and whatever. Like my boys, my homies were the ones that told me about Berklee and Juilliard and stuff like that. And, that was their dream. So, for it to kind of manifest to these schools, which are some of the best in the nation, it's like, it's honestly, it's like a dream come true, man. It's so humbling and so overwhelming at times.
That's what's up. So kind of like walk us through how was like Berklee? Like a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not saying in our culture we all go to HBCUs and we all do these
Right,
things. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
right.
because I think like Ray he ended up going to FAMU
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. Where a lot of people transition into playing the drums and then also playing in like marching bands and just different things like that. But you
Right.
kind of took a different route. How was
Hmm.
like what I'm saying, that thing like being in Boston and just the whole Berklee experience? Because some people aren't exposed to different things like that of going to Berklee or
Right,
Juilliard or having those
right,
auditions.
right,
So like, how was
right.
that?
Man, it definitely was an adjustment. It's and I honestly will say, it truthfully is one of the best things that ever happened to me. I think the
Wow.
exposure and the relationships that I've built definitely have carried me onto my professional career and just even, grown to personal relationships with some of these people and my mentors who, you know, people that have played and shared the stage with Beyonce and shared the stage with, in her original band and, some of my
Wow.
homies now who tour with Ty Dolla Sign and who tour with
Wow.
homie just did a joint. He released Mariah Carey just did something, or who did the Kanye Sunday services. Like those are all my
Wow.
homies. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's crazy to kind of have built those relationships um, with those people, and for that to have kind of carried me up to this point, and just to be able to call them and just to say that they're friends, and I think it definitely keeps the fire under my butt as well. So I mean, it Berklee, even the undergrad was one thing, but the masters also, having to study with, great bass player John Patitucci or Danilo Perez and all of these famous and great and influential names. It's
Wow.
like to be able to call them and have access to them is just a blessing within itself. So I mean,
So
I don't know.
I don't I'm not gonna act like I know everything about this drummer world, but how does that work, the master's program, as
Yeah,
far
yeah,
as that? It's like how does that work? Like are you writing music? Like
yeah, yeah.
talk to us, like how does that work?
So actually, I am. So I did undergrad at Berklee College of Music,
Hmm.
and then after I finished undergrad, my undergrad degree actually was in professional music, which was a dual degree in
Oh,
in
wow.
music performance and then jazz composition actually. And then the
Wow.
master's program was a continuation of that, which was kind of different in a lot of ways. It's kind of like a off kilter like side hustle type of thing to where it's affiliated with Berklee, but it's like its own entity, and it's called the Berklee Global Jazz Institute, led by
Okay.
Danilo Perez, great piano player, made famous or known for playing with his work with Wayne Shorter, who's a great legend of a saxophone player. But with that, I mean, a lot of pedagogy when I did
Okay.
the masters, and then a lot of composition. I have my EP coming out, The Greatest of These, so y'all really be on
Okay.
the lookout for that, which is
Definitely.
featuring, yeah, all of my original music.
What's
So
up, bro? Okay.
uh, yeah, bro, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was definitely nerve wracking, stepping into that
It
vein.
but like I said, for me, I know you guys are kind of, if you don't know, some of my listeners may be introduced to you, but like I was saying before, not necessarily you just being a little kid, but just seeing like I just remember seeing you drumming, at church, and then it's like what I'm saying, I'm seeing like clips, and I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. He playing with, but he out here, what I'm saying, like he's like doing his thing, like and
Oh
holding his own. Because I remember sometimes, like not saying I'm not a drummer, but I remember, just us talking. Like I remember there was sometimes, like the music director that we had at church, they was like, they was trying to get you on the ball sometimes, and
yeah,
it
oh,
was like,
definitely,
yeah, I'm doing it, but
right,
I'm
right,
gonna
right,
get there. I'm young, but just to
right,
see
right.
your maturation through everything, it's just like, wow,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
to see that, just to remember that young kid playing on the drums to like, so you got your own original pieces now, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's awesome, man, and I'm so
Oh,
like so proud of you, dude. That's
thank
like that's crazy. So we were kind of talking offline. You said you're teaching now, so are you teaching music now at Berklee? Like, so what's going on there?
So teaching two places. They're both after school programs, and one of
Okay.
which is actually the Berklee, and then I guess three, because one of which is the Berklee Global Jazz. Well, not Global Jazz, but the Berklee city music program where I'm the jazz ensemble instructor. And then the other is the Hamilton Garrett Music and Arts, which is like a subsidiary under historic Charles Street AME, which is a church here, but they have an after-school program. It's like one of the leading after-school programs for like K through 12 in the city of Boston, which is super dope. And I actually am getting a lot more involved there, and there's some news regarding that position, which will be released pretty soon. But I'm a percussion instructor there as of now, and yeah, it's been so rewarding. I mean, just to kind of go back and kind of think about, okay, like what were some of the things that you learned, you know, when you first start playing the drums? Like, how did you learn how to read music? Like, how did you, you know, the dexterity to be able to, you know, play the hi-hat at the same time as you playing the bass drum? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were some of those things that that you worked on to kind of get to this point? And it's making me revisit that, and it's also rewarding to kind of give back in that way too.
It is. You know, as you know, I'm teaching math now, so it is
Right.
definitely, you know, that you have those moments and just different things
Right.
like that. So
Right.
I just want to know, like I was kind of hinting to earlier,
Mhm.
what made you take a different path to like not do an HBCU setting or just a school of being in the marching band? Like, what
Right.
made you want to? I mean, of course, if anybody, you know, has an opportunity to go to, you know, prestigious school and just different thing like that, and to do the things that you've accomplished, it's
Right.
definitely awesome. But like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes in our culture, like that's the step. Like, you know,
Yeah.
there's a couple of people that drum through the church that we went to. Shout out to Manifest Church.
Yeah.
That went on to, you know, they're also drumming now, but they also went to the marching band
Mhm.
route. So
Mhm.
what made you do something different?
I don't know, man. I mean, because you know, I did march for a little bit with shout out to Suncoast High School. You know, West Palm. You know, I did march a little bit in high school, but then that was kind of short lived for a couple of situations, but for a couple of reasons rather. But yeah, I mean, as far as going to an HBCU, I wanted to do it, and I definitely would love to have experienced that yard life, you know, and then, you know, getting more aggressively into pledging and all and stuff like that. But then I don't know, man. I just feel like my path was just different. I mean, I feel like God just had something different for me. I don't know. Like I definitely wanted to do it. And I was about, because before this stuff came, I was about to go. I was looking at FAM. I was looking at FSU. I was looking at UCF. You know, offer some from, you know, some places, but then this stuff kind of came through, and I was like, man, like, am I supposed to say no? You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I am not mad
You know, nah,
at
but
you at all. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like that's definitely, you know, a dope opportunity. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we've had, you know, just the group of people that I've known that, you know, played in the church, like most of
right,
it, like you're literally like the only person that went to like a Berklee, and not saying
yeah,
anything bad about the other schools, but everybody
right,
went and did the marching band route. Now they're doing, I don't want to say they're doing the same thing as you, but a lot of
right,
them are teaching or
yep,
making
yep,
beats and, you
yep,
know,
yep,
just doing different things like that,
hmm
which is awesome. But I just kind of wanted to see what was your mindset
hmm
that made you take, you know, a different route and not do the marching band type
right.
of thing.
I
Which is,
think
like I said, go ahead.
no. I was just saying. I think to answer that more specifically now, I think then it was just like, you know, this is a great opportunity. I have to take advantage. But now, kind of going into it, and even having to choose between the two, like when it came down to it, between like Berkeley and the Juilliard, I think Berkeley, it was just like the diversity and the experience and the
Hmm.
exposure. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think that was definitely something that,
exposure is key, man.
right,
I like that. I like
right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That is like so dope. I remember one time, are you still doing I know you were doing like actually no, let me ask this. So you have your own business now? Are you because I know I guess that kind of intertwines with what I was gonna say. You
Mm-hmm.
have your own business now. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the name of my business is Beyond Measure Music, and Beyond Measure Music was formed, or is kind of an extension of me, Tyson D. Jackson, but then also it's kind of multifaceted. So it represents myself as the artist, but then it represents me kind of in a more entrepreneurial setting where I also have my Tyson Jackson Trio, and then I have Triad, which is still a band that people can book. Let's say, ultimately, to keep it a buck, if I'm out on the road, something like that, and then you still want, the same quality that you might have heard me play with someone else at some other time, and I'm not necessarily available, I can still use people within my network and within, my company that can still come perform your wedding or your bar mitzvah or your corporate event or, anything of the like. But then in the last part of that, the back end of that is also the 7 to 10 piece or larger party bands, if you want for your corporate event or you want for your birthday party, or so it's kind of multifaceted that way. It's like offering myself as the artist and then multiple bands, including the trio, Triad, which is a conglomerate of other musicians when I'm not available, and then the larger party bands.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. I remember one time you were doing like online like drum lessons. Do you still do
Yep.
that through the business? You still do that?
Yep, and that as well. That lessons, I offer lessons as well.
Man, listen, I'm about to find me an electric drum set. Because that's like my, if you know me. But anyway.
I know, right? Yeah, right.
At one point, like when I was a kid, like that was the one thing I always asked my mom. It was like, Mom, I want to play the drums. She's like, oh, I can't afford it. She would never let me play the drums. But I figured out some stuff in other ways how to play, but
right.
Definitely always something that I wanted to do. But we're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna figure out.
No, you already know.
And I'm coming to you first and make sure I get the good lessons. Because man, if y'all don't know, man, go to Facebook, man, and follow Tyson D Jackson.
Yeah. And you can on my Facebook. Website as well. Everything, all the social media.
What's your website? Let the people know.
So the website is www.Tyson D Jackson, D as in dog, Jackson .com, and then everything is there. Instagram, social media, and then if you want to follow my social media exclusively, it's T Dior Jackson. So T as in Tyson, D as in dog, I as in indigo, OR Jackson. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. Man, that's definitely dope, man. I'm so, like I said, man, you guys have no idea, like so proud of this dude, man. Had a chance to just like, hang with him. We spent some time together when he was younger.
Oh yeah.
Man, just to see his, to know his story and to see his growth and to see him into the young man he is, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's the, you know what I'm saying? It's not crazy, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I still see that kid behind the drums. You know what I'm saying? And my man Joe looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? So,
oh man,
fun times we did have. Lot of long nights.
A lot of long
nights in the Manifest Church, formerly Shiloh Family Worship Center.
Right.
But lot of good songs. Because. If you guys don't know, if you go down and if you ever in West Palm, please make sure you go check out the Manifest. Manifest Church in West Palm, led by Bishop A.J. Wright. He because he's a musician himself, so that was like the hardest thing that was probably difficult to do is when your bishop or your pastor at that time is a musician, and so that the band has to be on point, you know what I'm saying? And he was like around that time, 2000, how old were you? Like 2011, 2012? How were you playing?
That's actually spot on, bro. It was literally like 2011, 2012 when we were when it was at Suncoast.
Right?
Still tearing up, breaking down.
Yes.
The stage.
Tearing up and breaking down.
Before the building at Suncoast. So yeah. Yeah.
How were you then?
Man, how old was I then? Maybe like, I want to say maybe like, how old am I now?
What year were you born? Let's start there.
No, 97. So probably what? So maybe like 16, 17, 15. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but you were holding your own, man. And I just, like I said, I think it's just so awesome. Like I said, not in a bad way we're trying to stereotype or do anything like that, but it's just interesting to have somebody's take on taking a different route. Like I said, here, not so much. DC, not so much anymore. We're not in high school marching bandish. Like, here, this is the place to go. There's a lot of bands, but it's
Oh
not a
yeah,
lot of like marching bands. So
yeah,
we enjoy good live music. And to see somebody, like I said, go from that church world and not go into the marching band scene. Because like I said, in Florida, it's a whole thing. I need y'all to understand,
whole
like
thing.
the Bethune. I don't even know why I said them, because you know how I feel. Listen, the Martian 100 is the best in the land. Don't get the game ever twisted, ever
Oh
twisted. You know what I'm saying? But like you have so many things that it's just so easy to say, all right, man, we doing this marching band thing,
yeah,
because they give scholarships like football gives scholarships down there. Like, it's like I said, it's a whole thing down there. And just to see you do what you did, and then now you're teaching, now you got your own business, and like you took it, and just to hear your story and the things that you were talking about, it wasn't even something that was, you knew you were good at it, but you would have never have imagined you doing the things that you're doing now, man. And then the fact that you actually love it. And that's just a great thing about how God just, when you commit your plans to him, he'll direct your path. And it's just so awesome, you know what I'm saying, to kind of see you grow into the young man you're doing. So what I know it's hard to say because it's COVID right now,
oh yeah, yeah.
and things going on. But what's the future for Tyson Jackson?
Man. So, man, no, great question. I definitely, if quarantine didn't teach me anything else, man, I think definitely taught me to diversify. I think the live stream, the live thing, or touring and stuff like that was definitely happening, and I had a lot of opportunities there, and a lot of stuff that was supposed to happen, even when COVID hit later on in the year. Some good money and also some good opportunities. So it definitely hurt. But at the same time, it's interesting. Like, it was like one door closed temporarily, and then like this teaching thing really started to open up, like full throttle. And even now, some things are continuing to keep manifesting. And then just also focusing more on recording and producing, and also focusing on getting into these DAWs and recording drums myself, self-producing and stuff like that. So I think for me, this touring is definitely still coming back. I have a show, live stream show. I play with great artists. One of a few that I play with, but Joey Alexander, we have a stream coming up. I feel like the musician world is transitioning to these live streams right now.
Wow.
Until COVID clears up. So we have a stream. We doing something in Sunrise, I think, actually, in Sunrise, Florida, on March 13th. We're live streaming from the venue. But I don't think it's open to the public. But little stuff like that is starting to pop up, and then continuing to do the teaching thing. But then also, I'm stepping more into, I'm a consultant also for another general business company. In addition to, just diversifying. But then on the personal account, my original music, really, really putting that out there. I'm most excited about that. My trio, my band, and releasing my stuff. So I don't know, man. Y'all just continue to. My hands are in a couple of pots, so I mean, just continue to follow me. I mean, as I follow God to see what's next.
Man, that is awesome. So, can you tell us, are there any dates when your music is coming out so we can make sure we support? And will it be on all the major platforms, or do they need to go straight to your website?
It'll be on all the major platforms. So if you subscribe to my website, actually, and you go to news, and you'll be able to see something that says track this artist, and that'll link you to something called Bands in Town, and it'll show you everything that I ever will do, that I have coming up. I always post it. I'm pretty consistent about posting my updates and shows and stuff like that. Every Monday night, I also do a live stream with a great saxophonist, Noah Preminger, that we curate. We kind of cycle in different musicians, kind of feature around the city of Boston. That's sponsored by Jazz Generations Keyed Up, organization based out of New York. So, y'all I would say, I can't give you a date on that yet because there's still some things that need to take place, but it's coming to you real, real soon, sooner than you expect. So I would say definitely follow my page, my Instagram, and my social media for updates.
Oh man, that is awesome. Listen, man, I hope you guys, just like you said, exposure is everything, man. And I want to expose my listeners to all different type of things, man. And a young man that, like I said, I've seen grow, do just awesome things, and just let people know that some opportunities you may be nervous about, you may not sure, but if a great opportunity, lands in your lap, it is, you just never know. You know what I'm saying? You pray about it and you just take that route. Like he said, he never thought that he would be in the position that he's in when he first picked up some sticks. And you know what I'm saying? And it was just something that grew into a great passion and something that he's given back now. So it's definitely awesome, man. Tyson, man, I appreciate you so much, sir. Man, I hit you up and you was like, man, bro, of course I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely appreciate that so much. You coming through and doing this episode and doing the Giving a Purpose podcast. As always, listen, man, I need you guys. We're still in Black History Month, so you already know we extra blackety black during Black History Month, man. Make sure you support all the Black businesses out there. You have another person to support here, Tyson D. Jackson. He said he's coming out with some new music coming up real soon. Make sure you go to his website. Like he said, every Monday he's doing a live. You guys can check that out on his IG. I'll have that posted in the link on the bottom of the YouTube when this drops. So make sure you guys check all that out. So you already know. Myself, don't forget, every Monday, myself and Tristan Marsh, we are on IG Live. If you follow the Mr. LA_2 page, we do our Mental Health Monday every Monday. Make sure you guys check that out, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You already know this episode and all my episodes on all the platforms drop at midnight on Monday. So please make sure, listen, if you guys are on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe to the channel. So every time the new episode hits, you'll know. So definitely do that. Make sure you're following us at givingapurposepodcast.com for all the news. If you want to be a guest, make sure you go to that same website, Giving a Purpose Podcast. We can get you on here and kind of help people get through tough times right now. And just talking to Tyson, just having this uplifting story, man, is just awesome. So y'all already know what it is, man. We will see you next week. Make sure you live on purpose and live in purpose. It's your boy, Mr. LA. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.